Welcome to Pensacola, Florida, the site of the first European settlement in the United States.
Many of you are probably wondering if I'm lost. Shouldn't I be in St. Augustine, where the Spanish established the first continuous settlement in 1565? If I were, then I'd be 6 years too late. The first multi-year settlement in the continental United States was established in 1559 by Tristán de Luna y Arellano. Even though Pensacola was not the first continuous settlement in the continental United States, it was an amazing achievement for Spain. De Luna was named by King Philip II as the first governor of Florida in 1557. Almost 2 years later, he made his way from New Spain, now Mexico, with a record 13 ships full of soldiers, servants, colonists, clergy, horses, food, and equipment. Space on the vessels was limited. The hope was that the native population in La Florida could be employed through trade as labor. Just the voyage to La Florida alone was the definition of breaking barriers. The logistics of assembling such a large armada had never been attempted by Spain before. The process took almost 2 years to complete. Navigating the Gulf of Mexico in the 1500s was also an extraordinary feat. The armada went off course several times after leaving Veracruz due to winds and currents. In the end, according to most accounts, including original documentation, 11 to 13 ships entered the Bay of Ochuse on the Feast of the Assumption of Mary, August 15, 1559. In honor of this important religious day and King Philip II, De Luna renamed the bay Bahia Santa Maria Filipina. We now know it as Pensacola Bay. It was on nearby Santa Rosa Island that St. Michael's Church was established in 1559, and the first Catholic Mass was held in the New World. About 5 weeks later, on September 19th, disaster struck in the form of a hurricane. According to a letter written by Viceroy Velasco, 5 ships with main topsails, the galleon of Andanaguan, and one of 3 barks were lost. This was the beginning of the end for De Luna's expedition because, contrary to what prior explorers had reported, the area was almost deserted by the native population. This meant that De Luna's expedition did not have anyone in La Florida to rely on for labor or to help replenish their lost food supplies. De Luna sent out 2 scouting expeditions to the interior. After the hurricane, De Luna left Captain Juan Zaramillo and 60 soldiers to guard the port. He then successfully relocated the rest of the group to Nampicana. Unfortunately, the arrival of 1,500 Spaniards and servants quickly depleted all food stores. De Luna was forced to bring the group back to Ochuse to wait for reports from his scouts. One group of scouts was sent to a place called Coosa, where prior explorers had found a large native society. This group did not fare any better than De Luna's because Coosa was now a small village. By this point, De Luna had become ill with high fevers and was not always coherent. His allegiance to the throne, personal determination, and demanding nature allowed him to retain command despite his illness. He strongly urged the move of the settlement to Coosa because that is what Viceroy Velasco and King Philip II had commanded. Many in the camp were against this idea. They and their horses were starving. They did not think anyone would survive the journey on acorns, bark, and a few herbs. The clergy was also against the move and went as far as to deny him church services. Every segment of the camp had written letters asking to return to Mexico or Spain, or to at least travel to the Bay of Mobile. De Luna in turn ordered everyone to keep their concerns to themselves. Otherwise, they'd be considered traitors. In the meantime, it became clear to Viceroy Velasco that De Luna was too sick to continue. He named Angel de Villafane as the new governor, and on April 9, 1561, De Luna left Ochuse to return to Mexico and then Spain. Spain learned a lot from De Luna's expedition, and the experience better prepared them for their first successful continuous settlement in St. Augustine. Let's go now to Pensacola, Florida, and to the site of the first multi-year European settlement in the continental United States. Pensacola is an old place. Because of that, artifacts are found all the time. Sometimes they are found on land, and other times they are discovered in the water. The De Luna settlement is no exception.
Right now, I'm staying on the De Luna settlement right on Pensacola Bay. In the 1500s, it was known as the Bay of Ochuse. Out here lies the 3 De Luna wrecks. 2 of the wrecks are located directly off this point in less than 15 feet of water. It took the colonists 5 weeks to unload needed equipment. Food stores were left on the ships. That was unfortunate because a hurricane swept their food away. The colonists were now in dire straits.
The site is currently protected. I managed to discover its location and learn that the site is currently populated by private homes. I was asked by a graduate student of the University of West Florida who worked on the site not to disclose the location in this documentary. She feared that the site may become tainted and the homeowners disturbed by trespassers.
I'm here at the University of West Florida's Florida Archaeology Network to discover more about the DeLuna settlement. I'm in the Florida Public Archaeology Network lab. This is where members of the public help to sort artifacts. Samples of known periods are available for comparison purposes to help identify fragments of pottery and other materials. These artifacts are being sorted from a current dig in downtown Pensacola related to a Gulf power project. Underwater archaeologists discovered a pile of rounded stones in Pensacola Bay. These stones were used as ballast in the bottom of DeLuna's ships. Finding ballast stones is a good indication of an archaeological find because these stones were not native to the area. These stones were collected and placed on DeLuna's ships almost 500 years ago.
In this video, archaeologists from the University of West Florida Maritime Archaeology Department are investigating the frame and hull of the Emmanuel Point 3 wreck. At this site, divers found ceramic, ballast stones, and iron concretions. The wreck was discovered in June of 2016. Many of the artifacts found at the Emmanuel Point site now reside at the T.T. Wentworth Jr. Museum in Pensacola, Florida. Let's head in and check it out.
I'm standing next to the anchor recovered from the first DeLuna shipwreck found in Pensacola Bay in 1992. This wreck site was named Emmanuel Point 1. Wrecks designated as Emmanuel Points 2 and 3 were found in 2007 and 2016 respectively. DeLuna era artifacts were recovered from the wreck including Majolica platos, crossbow points, copper and silver coins, carvings, and Aztec pottery. Weapons include arquebus balls used for shot in early smooth-bored muzzle-loading shorter-hulled guns, and bodica, a lead shot with an iron cube in the center. Also found at the Emmanuel Point wreck was a copper cooking vessel, animal bones, wooden picks and stoppers, rat bones, glazed ceramics, olive jar shards, and olive bits.
Shards of broken Spanish ceramics from the same period were found underground and undisturbed at the DeLuna land settlement site. This find, combined with the information stated in the many letters and other documents written by DeLuna and the others, links to the wreck and the settlement site together as being part of the same expedition.
It is not until 1565, 6 years after DeLuna arrived at the Bay of Ochuse in Pensacola, that the Spanish finally established the first continuous European settlement right here in St. Augustine, Florida. Tristán DeLuna arrived at the Bay of Ochuse with 11 vessels. Records indicate that most ships were Spanish galleons like this replica at the Colonial Quarter in St. Augustine, Florida. Galleons typically had multiple decks and 3 or more masts. Galleons were very expensive to build. Probably for that reason, some of DeLuna's ships were leased. The galleon that is being built at the Colonial Quarter is unfinished, but this recreation at the Museum of Florida History is a good example of what the deck would look like. DeLuna broke many significant barriers by the failure of the settlement. He traveled with the largest armada of ships ever sent by Spain for exploration. He established a working